Hello, Gremolinos. It is Catherine, your favorite asthmatic, mostly 10-fingered chaos reader. And we are here because 1, I have delivery to show you, and 2, I'm going to the library, so you're going to come. It is Wednesday night. If you are coming from my last video, like if you watched my last vlog, if it even went up, I am still fighting with that video currently. Every time I tried to download the video, Adobe Express crashed. It wouldn't download. There's nothing wrong with the footage. Like, the footage is fine. There's just something up with Adobe, which who knows. I have at this point done half the video and I just downloaded the half that would work. It is downloading very slowly, and also it turns out I am using a Chromebook, which is not like the world's greatest computer, but it's what I could get at the time, and it was working fine. But it decided during all of this that it needed to tell me that it has an, like, there's an update I didn't know about. So there's an update that needs run. So I'm like, really? But I need this like set of clips to finish, so that's what I'm waiting on. And then tomorrow I'm gonna try and get the rest of them in. We'll see how that goes. I don't know. I'm really just grasping at straws to see if that video will even go up. Hopefully I find a way. Hopefully. I don't know what that way will be if I can't force Adobe Express to work, but I did try other like download things and they didn't work. They were either slightly sketchy, or it'd be like, oh, you can have 15 minutes, and then there was no price point, just that you would need to pay. And I was like, I don't want to just guess how much this costs. But hopefully that went up. Hopefully. I'm really hoping. I read some fun stuff in that one. But we're also reading fun stuff in here. Hopefully 2 literally dead book club picks. I really hope so. I though just have like a lot of random library books that have come in. I know for a fact I have 1 literally dead book club pick. I have the August pick. I have a horror book that came in a couple days ago that I need to read, but I did not get to because Charlie the puppy takes a lot of time. And then I had a book come in at the library, which is where we're going. I have a number of books in, but some are for like a themed thing I'm doing. And I am still waiting for the Paul Tremblay book, Do Dead Men Dream of Electric Sheep, or Dead Men Dream of Electric Sheep, or whatever the title of the pseudo Blade Runner title is. It literally, the problem is, Do Androids Dream of Electric Sheep is the Philip K. Dick story, and I have known that title for so much longer that every time I try and say the title to the Paul Tremblay book, my brain is like, you mean androids, right? Like, you're talking about and I'm like, I'm not talking about the book that inspired Blade Runner. So it's like throwing me off a little. Also, my asthma is acting up because of the weather, I think, and I'm a little tired. But library and delivery. I need to show you the delivery first. So I'm gonna grab my stuff. We're gonna go downstairs. We're gonna head to the kitchen. I will show you what I'm talking about. Also, I'm wearing my Barb shirt because it's comfy. So let's go look at this package. All right, you don't need to see me. I'm trying to hide any address label stuff. So Krista got this for me ages ago. It's the 1911, like, she signed me up for it. It's like a fan club thing. They send you like sample ciders. The last set I got was like 8 different ciders, like literally just 8 singular cans and a cup for summer. And this is their new like summer fancy collection. We think they decided to go super fancy because the last one was literally less cider than normal, because normally you get 12 containers. This is about to tip. Please don't tip. I touched it and then it was like, I'm gonna fall now. Okay, so this is a classic. So this is their red sangria, which is very popular. It is really good. It does taste like sangria. That is a current one. Krista's trying to get off the couch, if you can hear her. And then these are new, if I can get them out. And they're also in like fancy boxes. This is a brand new thing. They've never done this before. So this is, they're smaller it looks like, but they're a higher alcohol by volume. This is 1911 Imperial Cranberry. This is very fancy. This is completely brand new. I don't even think this is out yet. If you're in the fan club, they send you stuff before it comes out so you can test it. But like, this is brand new. Like, this is new. I've never seen this before. It's very small, but also very alcoholic, apparently.
It's not in stores yet. It goes out to our club members first.
Yes. Oh god, I can't get the blueberry. Ah. You're at a very horrible angle, and I'm sorry, and it's because blueberry got stuck. Here we go. And then this is the 1911 blueberry. They have never had a blueberry cider to my knowledge. They have a cranberry that's their like Christmas flavor, and I really like it, so I'm super excited to try this one. But I love blueberry and I'm so stoked to try this. I'm actually gonna get these in the fridge. I've had red sangria before, so I'm gonna like move it out of the way. and hold on to it for a bit, but these need to go in the fridge because I really want to try one of each tonight. Yes, I said one of each, even though it says 8.2% alcohol by volume. Oh, there's a Charlie. Hold on, there's our address. Hiya, Charlie. Hello. Hi. I was telling them that the video where we got you was being a butt.
But not you.
No, I got all your
good
stuff.
Though.
I know. The sun was really sunny when we brought her home and she likes being outside.
Right, we're gonna go pee.
All right, well, I gotta go do things because we're about to head out. Hello! I told you we'd go to the library, Grandma. You only got to see a little bit because there were kids running around and I did not want to film anyone that was like just in the library inadvertently. First, my wife got me coffee after the library. I'm having a peanut butter Dunkin'. It's a large cold brew, I think? Yeah, with 2 pumps of peanut butter because I don't particularly like their sweet syrups a lot. So I'm having that. But, library news. Very exciting library news. We're gonna set you up right here. You can see both the camera strap and part of the car. You know, it's fine. My head's cut off. It's whatever. We're here for not me. We're here for 3 exciting things. There's more books in here for a different themed vlog, but very exciting news. So they had The Brides by Charlotte Cross, which I absolutely need to read in this video, probably. I say that because I had more books in than I expected. So this I've been waiting for. This is like a Dracula retelling, but it's focused on the brides. I believe it's set before even Dracula becomes Dracula. Ooh, interesting. Okay, I'm gonna stop reading the synopsis. I'm very excited. Then this one was in. So this is Johanna von, I think it's Veen. It might be said some other way, but I know it's Johanna von Veen. Von, and then her last name is either pronounced Veen or something along those lines. But this is Bone of My Bone, which is her sapphic religious horror. The downside is it is medieval, I believe, which is hit or miss for me. But I am excited because it has something to do with a saint. And then this was a complete surprise. Dead But Dreaming of Electric Sheep was in my stack of holds, and I literally just went, what? And the librarian was like, are you okay? Like, she just looked concerned. And I was like, no, I didn't know this was in it. I had no idea. Apparently, someone donated their copy to the library, and the library logged it like day of, which they never do with holds, like donations. They normally like vet them a little. But they like day of, like got it all put together and threw it on the shelf because so many people had requested it and the wait was so long. And I got it first because someone must have just returned it. I don't know. This is very exciting. This is incredible, but I need to read this. But the problem is I have 2 books at home. So I have 5 books that could potentially be in this vlog. Now, if I have to cut a book, it'll probably be Brides and I'll read it in the next one. But I would like to get to all 5 of them because I have another video planned for not this vlog. Also, I might count Bone of My Bone for damage because there's damage on the cover to an item, but we shall see. But I'm very excited. You don't get to know about the other books because they're for a completely unrelated vlog. I will give you a hint that it is Book It themed, and that's all you're getting, and that's a very vague hint as it is. Sorry, now I'm putting them away. Okay, but I'm very excited. We're headed in to the store and I will talk to you later tonight. Grammarly knows. Hi, you're still not seeing my face. So this was very unplanned, but Krista got a notification that she had to use, we're trying not to shop at Target, but she got a notification that her Target credit card was going to cancel. And if you get a card closed on you, or if you close a card, your credit gets dinged. So she was like, I really don't want my credit to get dinged. So I went to Target, and I actually got this very cool copy of Summer Slasher. It's short, it looks fun. I had a hold in it for the library, but I was like, well, like, it's fun. She was like, get something. So she was like, you should get a book because we have to use the card. So I did get Summer Slasher. And then Krista was like, also, you've had a bad day. So here's some other like random stuff that I was not anticipating getting. They had this like Sleepy Hollow sweatshirt that Krista grabbed for me. It's like a little embroidered thing. And then Furby keychain. And then Harley and Harley. These were blind boxes, so it was a surprise that I got both Harleys. Krista was like, I'm channeling Harley for you. And then this is like a giraffe cheetah. I think it's giraffe. Furby. They had these like boxes, but it's super heavy. It's supposed to be a keychain, but it's so heavy I wouldn't put it on a bag. But yeah, so typically we do not really go to Target. But she has the card and she was like, just get stuff. And then we immediately paid the card off so it wouldn't close. So yeah, so I have this summer slasher copy and then this stuff. So yeah, it was an impromptu shopping spree, mostly for me. We also got some Stoke coffee because they had the pumpkin creamed coffee. So I'm very excited about that. It's already out. So yeah, totally unplanned. Also this little book stack, I'm just going to show you. This looks nuts. This is my iPad that I use for Libby and Kindle. And then this is Dead But Dreaming. Like, these are all books I already showed you. This is We Don't Talk About Carol, which is the August Literally Dead Book Club pick. And that's the other one I need to read in this vlog. And then these are for the Book It vlog. As you can tell, it's Babysitter's Club. I need 5 more for what my plan is. But I'll explain that in that vlog. So yeah, I have a lot of things. This is not getting read in this vlog. Just FYI, I'm gonna focus on these library books, and then I probably won't read this until like end of August, possibly, but it's here. I will read it, probably in a vlog, because so many people have read it, but I really only got it because she was like, grab a book, because there's, like, I have to use this card, so we did, but anyway, I need to go check on the video to see if it's actually doing what it's supposed to be doing, and you can't see me, so I will talk to you tomorrow, Gremolinos. Hello, Gremolinos. It is very early, like extra early. We got Charlie up, like we got everyone up, fed, all of that very quickly. And I'm already in my office and it is wildly early, but I have done a tarot pull. I'm already holding the book because I did actually decide to do reverses and like correct set or braid setup and reversed for my tarot deck. I did like a whole thing yesterday to organize the cards, and this morning I drew my first ever reverse. I drew the Devil reversed. Ta-da! I will flip this over so you can look at the art, but I did draw it in the reverse. Ta-da! And according to this, in the reverse, it means you are breaking free of your bonds. Unhealthy attachments to people, substances, habits, etc. are being released. Or at the very least, you're in a mental space to see these toxic patterns as an issue and are ready to work on them. It seems you're in a headspace to dig into your oppressed and neglected side that may have led to unhealthy patterns. This is a good time to seek out community and or a therapist for support to help you through this process. And then the models on the card are Malik Ansari, they, them, Constance Shoemaker, she, her, and Angie Cooper, she, her. The art on this one is very cool. I like that the horns are like, I think they're the trans flag. They look like the trans flag. They're very cool. So yeah, first time I've drawn a reverse, though that is entirely because the reverses are now in the deck. I have actually reversed cards. That is the only clip you're getting right now. I will let you know I did start Dead But Dreaming of Electric Sheep last night. But I'm not going to tell you much because I really do need to try and get the rest of the footage off this SD card. So I will talk to you when I've read more of it. I'm definitely reading some this morning and some this afternoon, because it is very early and I have time. So yeah, kind of. I do also have to work with this whole other half of that other video. But I do believe I'll have time to read. Also, Krista is working, so I'll be hanging out with Charlie and the dogs. Charlie needs more like one-on-one attention a little bit. And then I should have time to read. So that is the plan. But I'm gonna go for now. I will talk to you later, Gremolinos, when I have an update on Dead But Dreaming of Electric Sheep. Hello, Gremolinos. I got the video up. It was fine. I got it to work. I basically had to cut the video in half and then put the footage together in a different file. I got it. It worked. It's up on YouTube. Huzzah. And also, it is the very end of my lunch break. I have a couple minutes, so I wanted to give you my thoughts so far on Dead But Dreaming of Electric Sheep, because I keep wanting to call it Do Dead Men Dream of Electric Sheep to have it match the title of Do Androids Dream of Electric Sheep a little better. I am a little under 200 pages in. There are technically chapters, but they're not numbered, and I basically just had to like stop reading to do something, and I was like, oh, I'll just check in now. We are following, in alternating perspectives for the most part, Julia, and then technically the kind of dead guy. She has been asked to assist in transporting from California to the East Coast. Now, I'm gonna get into this. I did read the synopsis just to see like what's on here. So Julia is contacted by someone at this company who's like, hey, we need your help. We think you'd be a great fit. this is super last minute. We'd pay you a lot of money. We need you to do something. They don't tell her any details. She then shows up at this tech firm kind of thing. And they're like, okay, great, we're gonna interview you, blah, blah, blah. We really wanted you to do it because of your like gaming skills. And she's like, what? She then finds out that they have done something to a man who was in some sort of like accident or had like some kind of medical event on this like tech campus. We are not told his real name initially, but I actually may not know his real name at all. But Julia nicknames him Bernie, like Weekend at Bernie's, because they're like, oh, you're gonna help us transport him from here to the other side of the country. And also you're going to make him walk. So the transporting is him physically being moved via control. I'm not gonna get into the ins and outs because they do kind of explain it to you, but the reason his nickname is Bernie is because of the movie Weekend at Bernie's. Julia loves older, like 80s cult classic kind of things. Her favorite movie is The Big Lebowski, so she does reference it a lot. It does come up a lot. So she ultimately winds up agreeing to this, mostly because once she gets so far in, you can't really say no. And so she's like, well, I'm kind of stuck. Like, I guess I have to do this. So she will be basically remote controlling the man she's named Bernie to his home, is what they keep telling her. He is going to, it's maybe not his home, going to a state where he can cease to live how he is living. So they tell her that like, well, he's basically dead. He's brain dead, can't move, he is breathing, like his systems are still functioning, but like he doesn't have consciousness, at least according to the tests they have done. So on top of that, so that's what she's told, and it's really weirding Julia out. She's like, I'm not sure, like, I trust that, like, do you really know? Like, she still does not believe anything. She's like, this is all very creepy, this is very weird, I am doing this because I'm doing this, but also, like, I don't know that I want to be doing this. Now, on top of what's, like, Julia's perspective, you're getting chapters that are titled You, where you are following what's going on, presumably, to Bernie. Or, like, what's happening with Bernie. I would assume. Does it? I feel like it has to say that, right? Yeah. Yes. Okay. So but it's odd because like as you're reading, it makes the most sense that that's who it is. But it is titled You. There are also these like interlude chapters that are added in by Tremblay to like say random things to you. And I'll get more into that at the end of this story. Like when I finished it is my like final wrap up stuff. So it is interesting. There are though, I don't want to spoil anything. So I'm going to try and find one that doesn't really have spoilers. There has to be one that doesn't really. Oh yes, I can show you one that's like a page. This. I'm just going to cover this. So like that, this is like blocks of text. There are sections that were like the text is blocked out or where there's like odd text behind text. And that is discussed in the interludes. I will again discuss that further when I finish because I want to see how the book ties out before I like give my full thoughts on that. But overall we are following Julia in her attempt to transport Bernie and then whatever the heck is going on in the You landscape. The synopsis calls it a hellscape, and you can't, like, things are very weird in it, and the person that is You does not know who they are, kind of, and it is very interesting. Like, it is interesting because you can see like overlap elements that do make sense, and the concept of the story itself, even according to Julia as she brings it up, is pretty horrifying. Like, I have this man who you're saying is dead that I am puppeting about. Like, I'm moving him. Like, he is not capable of movement, and yet here we are. So it is interesting. I am gonna still keep calling it the wrong thing because the title is intentionally very similar. So yeah, there is also a rabbit, but it's like a tattoo. It's like a whole thing. But again, I am enjoying it. Just keep in mind, some stuff is left to intentionally confuse you. Again, once I finish, I will see how that like kind of wraps up. But I will give you full thoughts when I'm done. Again, I am enjoying it. It's very, like, odd. In a good way. Like, I am enjoying the process of reading it because it is odd. I am, though, as of this moment, I am very glad I didn't buy it because I don't think I will reread it, but I'm gonna see how it ends. Maybe the ending of it will make me be like, oh, I'm definitely gonna have to reread that and do stuff. So yeah, this clip is pretty long, so I will talk to you when I finish the book later tonight, Grumelinos. Hello, Grumelinos. It is after work. I'm wearing my Tina shirt, Tina Belcher from Bob's Burgers. I'm actually wearing it, one, because I wanted like a comfy after work shirt, but also there is a double episode, I forget which season, where Tina writes a fanfic inspired by Blade Runner. So I thought that fit with the Dead but Dreaming of Electric Sheep. So ultimately, the book is not something I would reread. I do think it is an interesting experience to read to begin with, but this is what I wanted to get into that I hadn't gotten into. So a lot of the concept of this book is the idea of AI. The way that Bernie is being operated is AI. They do tell you that pretty upfront, that AI is involved in this process in some capacity. I won't get into the hows and the whats because that will inevitably reveal too much. You should let the book actually tell you, so I'll just tell you like AI is involved. But beyond the fact that he has used AI in the plot, Paul Tremblay actually includes those interludes I mentioned where he actively is kind of adding some odd things. And he even, in another chapter that is not an interlude, discusses the fact that if, well, perhaps you wanted to avoid AI copying your work, you would include things like interludes that don't make any sense with the plot of the book, that would confuse a system that was trying to digest your story and then, like, restructure it or use it to learn. So ultimately, this book is a discussion of AI in its construction and also in its plot. So Paul Tremblay has created a book where he uses formatting things. I also believe word choices. He uses a lot of very interesting, just like, I'm gonna say vocab words that I like wasn't expecting. They were very fun words, but like words that I wasn't anticipating right away for the scene. He also is just like, there's a lot of those like text situations where like there's boxes around things or blank boxes or blank pages or odd things. So there is a section of the book, and I do want to bring this up because I was worried that I actually needed to read it. In the book at a certain point, there is a section where there is a conversation going on, and then behind that conversation is very faint grayed out text that is going from like left to right like a regular book. And I like tried to read a couple keywords because it's really hard for me to see, but like I could still see it. You do not need to worry about reading that background text. It does appear later in the book. But ultimately, I do think it is added there to confuse a digital system, because if this book was scanned into a bot, it would get confused because there's two sets of book happening at once in one little section. So he is actively using the book to combat the ability for something to steal his work. He is also discussing how you can avoid having something steal your work by doing interesting formatting situations like the boxes and the dialogue thing that he does. And like he'll randomly just insert boxes. This is predominantly in the you sections. Julia's are normally written pretty normally, but Julia's also have some things where like language will change or a story will be presented and then we'll told, oh, you'll get that later, and then it comes back. And I do think that is also in part him trying to trick a system. If it was trying to understand his story, it will get confused. And the interludes include random like dictionary definitions, random plots, extra questions like who do you think is narrating? And like they're just thrown in there. And it really is like a book designed to make you think about how information is taken in and utilized by artificial intelligence, and how terrifying that can be in the now and in a situation where like your physical body could be taken over or could be programmed to behave with that inside of you. It's truly horrifying. So this is horror. It's not like a gross horror. There's not a lot of like, there's some body horror, tentatively, in that there is a human being forced to move in theory against their will. I'm not going to get into the ins and outs of this. Again, you need to read the book if you want to like understand really where this is coming from. Oh, there is definitely something in my eye. Sorry, I was trying to avoid it, but there's like a hair or something and it's making my life very difficult. Sorry, that was probably really creepy. But yeah, I definitely enjoyed this. Is it my favorite Paul Tremblay book? No. Head Full of Ghosts is my favorite of his, and I really like Cabin at the End of the World. But this is very interesting. It's also very good, like, discussion piece. I actually could see this being assigned in, like, a lit class, like in a, like, popular literature or, like, a sci-fi literature course, to examine the future. I actually took a class called History of the Future, where you read texts that were written in the past about what they thought the future would be. Like you read Blade Runner, well, Do Androids Dream of Electric Sheep for that class and a bunch of other things. But I feel like this would fit into that idea of reading about technology and the advancements that we think that technology could make or like will make. I don't know, I'm not involved in that. And I could see this being discussed like in a college setting. It was interesting. Again, the ending of this one did not do it for me. The ending is fine. I feel like with all the buildup, I kind of wish it had ended sooner. And it had ended earlier. I did not need all the stuff that occurs at the end of this. So I would actually, I kind of wish it had ended. So there's an art. There's no art, although the text boxes are art. Anyway, there is, my brain, there is a section of the book, nearish the end, that does not include the very artistic, text on text. It actually does look really cool. It would be a really cool print to put up. But there is a section that's like you, and I think we could have like stopped that section, done a Julia chapter, and then come back to that. And I kind of wish we'd ended the book with a you section, but some people may not have liked that. I think I would have liked that, with like a nebulous you section as opposed to what we get, because it gets a little hazy in the last one. I don't want to spoil anything, but I kind of wish it had ended a bit differently in a less this is exactly what's happening kind of way. I, though, have kind of changed my mind for this entire vlog, but I did enjoy this. Again, I think you should read it. It was interesting. I have changed my plan. Can you tell I'm kind of tired? The next book I'm going to be reading, I do need to actually read this sooner rather than later, is, oh, interesting, is The Summer Fun Massacre by Craig DeLuey. I really liked episode 13, and this I have from Louis. It is due in like 7 days, I think, so I really do need to read it. Though, interestingly, this will work for the, I gotta look at that one. So I'm probably gonna read this kind of slow. I already know I am because we're busy this weekend, but this will fit the damage prompt for Kayla's August, one of the August buzzword prompts, because there is blood on the VHS tape. So I know I'm gonna read this slowly, and I'm definitely not gonna finish this before the 1st, so we're just gonna count it. If I do finish it like the night of the 31st, it'll be after midnight. So I'm gonna slowly be reading that one. And then, yeah, I also have changed up a lot of plans for this vlog, but we're gonna focus on the next book. So yeah, Summer Fun Massacre is going to be next. And I will definitely finish it on August 1st, so that I can count it towards the damage prompt for the Buzzword August pick. But I need to go, so I will definitely talk to you tomorrow, Gremlinos. I may not really have a book update for you. I'll probably have started it. We'll just see. I don't know. We're just doing what we feel, especially since I have secretly completely changed elements of this video, like my TBR for this video already. But these ones you already knew I was reading, so some stuff's staying the same, some stuff's changing, but I gotta go. So I'll talk to you tomorrow. Hello, Gremlinos. I don't have a reading update. I'm also in my office and not working, even though it is work day. So quick recap of events. So last night we went and saw the new Spider-Man movie, which was very good. That was fun. We came home, we watched Spider-Man No Way Home, the one with multiple Spider-Men. And then we went to bed pretty late. Charlie was great though. She didn't have an accident while we were at the movies, and she slept through the night. She got up at like 6:20, which is good for her. because they got her up at 6 at the rescue, so 6-ish is about the time she wakes up on her own right now. So I like went to check my phone because like my alarm is on my phone, and it said you're connected to the internet, or what it, like you're connected but you have no internet. And I was like, what are you talking about? And so I went upstairs to check on like well, first we have a booster in our living room, so like I unplugged it and plugged it back in, and that didn't do anything, and I was like, okay, weird. So I came upstairs and the router was bright red. All of this is like Spectrum stuff, so like it's tech from Spectrum, so like the router just has like a line at the bottom, bright red. The modem, I can't really tell a difference in the colors super easily. I have to be like right on top of it. And I was like, okay, so something must be wrong then. So I unplugged everything, plugged it back in, still no change. Like I had my phone and my work computer's up here and it's plugged into the router, and it was like, no, there's no internet. I was like, okay. So I tried again, and then I call the Spectrum help number, not my local one, because they weren't open. It was 6:30 in the morning. And so I call and they're like, try resetting. Like you don't get a person right away. So I did it again, no change. So I was like, I'm gonna get a person. So I was talking to a person and she was like, oh, weird. We're seeing that your modem at 4 o'clock in the morning was no longer connected to the internet. Like it stopped being connected. And again, the modem is the thing that actually like is your internet hub. And then the router like is how you can access the internet. Yeah. If you have two different devices. We have two different things because Spectrum gave us two different things. And so I like checked all the connections. I like looked all around. The person I had was very, very nice. She checked whatever they could check on the back end, and she was like, yeah, it's not working. So, because she tried, she like did some stuff, and she was like, no, I've tried resetting it on our end and it's not working. And then she was like, and we don't have any techs that can come out. Like we can't put you on the schedule for today. We can put you on the schedule for Saturday. And I was like, I work from home. And she was like, I understand, I'm so sorry. So I'm on like the priority list, but the issue I'm hoping it is just that our modem has died. Like something's wrong with stuff and it's just incapable of connecting to the internet. Which like tech from Spectrum has died on me in the past. And also like the last tech we had from them did not work very well. So it wouldn't surprise me if the modem just like gave up the ghost. I really hope it's not a person. Oh, what is this? Anyway, so the only real option short term that we could do is we could just go get a modem, but nothing is open. So Krista actually went to work, but so like I scrambled around the whole house because she was like, I'll come back and get you closer when stuff is open, and then like we'll go from there. And I was like, okay. And I was like, well, if she's leaving, then I should try and like figure out if anything works. So the way our internet is set up, when we moved into the house, the internet connection initially that they wanted us to use was in the living room, but it was in like inside of a cold air return vent, which means no air comes into it, but it's like very weird and like very dusty, and it's not a good place to like, I don't know why they wanted it there. Like that's where they put the cables, which makes no sense to me. And so like the house came with internet, like all the cables were already installed. But that's what they wanted us to use. And then Krista's dad came and was like, no, you don't have to do that. I can make it work. So he did stuff to like make it work. So that I could have internet upstairs, and it's been completely fine for 6 years. So I was like, well, maybe something happened with the thing he did. He basically like used a splitter to like make the cables all work together. And I went down and like everything is still in place. Like nothing is an issue outside because we have some cables that run outside the house. And then I even yanked out this was the tricky part. So I found all of the stuff in the cold air return and like plugged it all in to see if that would work. And no, it still said no internet. And then while I was doing all that, because that was tricky, I had to move a bunch of stuff in our living room to like get to it. Then Krista called me because she was like, well, Rick at work has some thoughts. And I was like, okay. And so she was like talking to Rick, and I was trying to listen because I was on speaker, and then I was also like holding an air return vent. It's very heavy, and trying to get it to go up and not have Binks climb under the house, because that's what he was trying to do, because the vent goes to the basement. And I was like, please don't do this. And it just like none of it was working. So I think it's the modem, but we have to get a modem to see if I'm correct. If it's not the modem, then we still need the tech to come out to like do something. I would hope it's not that the lines are messed up, but like, who freaking knows? But yeah, so that's where we're going. I've been messaging my manager to be like, hey, so my modem is probably dead. And hopefully it's just that my modem is dead. It like turns on. I'm just like ages and ages ago, when I lived in an apartment, they gave us like motor router combos for our apartment, and mine died. Like it was turning on, but like nothing worked. And I remember I had to go like buy stuff, and also Spectrum had to like leave me something. It was a long time ago. But I do have the tarot deck, so I thought I would do a poll, really quick, and just tell you how things are going. Ultimately, my manager was like, you'd have to take a sick day if you can't. And I was like, yes, I would take a sick day. Like, I understand. I was like, I'm really just hoping I can come in for at least most of the day. Because I technically start at 9. I'm normally in at 8:30, if not earlier. Just like of my own volition. But I would at least like hope to be in. I told him probably 11, as long as it's just the modem that's the problem. Because like, apparently we'd have to get the modem and call Spectrum to tell them that we grabbed a new modem so that they can like make sure it's connected correctly. I don't know. Never run into this problem. Routers, yes. Modems, no. Ages ago, I had to give my parents my router because the router from their Spectrum in Ohio stopped working. Like it was trash. And so I gave them mine because like the internet never worked. But it was just a router, not a modem. So let's see. I'm gonna take this card. Ooh. Is another reversed. I've drawn this one before. Was this reversed? Oh, I'm in front of my computer. Oh, now I'm blue. 6 of Swords. This is 6 of Swords, but it is reversed. I didn't grab my book out. Sorry. It's been a day. I'm really hoping. I'm like, I know that was the right cable. Like all the cables should work. Swords. Oh. Too far. All signs are pointing toward you leaving a difficult situation, but it feels so hard to do. You may feel hesitant and like you'll never be ready to let go. Remember that you are only being harmed by staying in this situation. You don't want to stunt your growth. This is a good time to consider your worth, and remember that nobody values you as much as you value yourself. I think that's the right one. Yeah, that's 6. So that's it. Interesting. And then Jenny Eisenhower, she, her, and Sarah Neville, she, her, are the official models on that card. So there you go. Hoping, again, that I just need to replace this modem. I'll show you the art right side up, but this is the card. It's funny that now that I have reverses in the deck, like I just keep drawing reverses and like the whole deck isn't upside down. I just checked really quick. I was like, did I actually? I could have. It wouldn't surprise me. So yeah, that is my day. Seeing the movie last night was fun, and it was great that Charlie was so good. We expected that we'd have to come home and like clean her because it was the longest she'd been alone. We also like, we were like, oh crap, because like the movie was long, but there were a ton of credits. Like not credits, trailers. So yeah, but I should go. I'm also supposed to keep an eye out for a call from the techs in case they can get to us today. It's just annoying. Because I'm pretty sure it's just the modem. I'm really hoping it's just the modem. I don't want them to have to come and like do new cabling, which is a thing that can happen. I was Googling to see if I could figure it out, and also literally right after I Googled, that's when Krista, because I was like Googling things while running around the house, and then Krista called, and the guy at work was like, oh yeah, they had to do that at my house. And I was like, he was like, it took like half a day. It was really annoying, but like they don't charge you because it's their job. And I was like, yeah, but also like I don't want them to be recabling my whole house. But we have a lot of cables. Anyway, I should go. Now I'm just rambling. But I should downstairs and check on the pups. Because Krista should be coming soon-ish. Also, I have not really had makeup on. Just because it's been not wildly hot. I just feel like I've been running around a lot. Today and yesterday a little. Also, I need to shower today. I'm getting my hair cut tomorrow, so you're going to see new hair at some point. We have a lot of things going on tomorrow, so it was very inconvenient that the tech could only come tomorrow. I was like, really? We have to take Charlie for her puppy shots? Like, I was like, I have a dog I have to take to the vet, and the vet is not close, because the one we're taking her to is like an hour-ish away. And I was like, and I have a haircut for tomorrow, and I really didn't want to reschedule it. So I was like, ugh. So we'll see. Hopefully they can come today, or this. If the modem thing fixes it, I'll just tell them that it fixed it. But if that's not it, then all right, I'm gonna go before I worst case scenario it for forever. on camera. Also, sorry I'm blue, but my monitor is not going to shut off now. So I will talk to you later today, Gremolinos. I'll give you an update on the internet situation. It may just be a very brief, like, hey, we don't have internet, or hey, we do have internet. We'll just see how it goes. Gremolinos, it is almost 2 o'clock, and we finally have internet. So I called, I don't even know how many things I've told you. We wound up realizing that the modem was dead. Like, something is wrong with its ability to access the internet. Something could have broken internally, something could have, it doesn't matter. The modem stopped working. So we went to Best Buy. Krista came and got me. She like let her managers know, bosses, however they're referred to. They said it was fine. So we went to Best Buy. We got a router modem combo from Netgear, because that's like the standard company that I always use and normally the recommended one. We got it home. I got it set up. I called Spectrum and they're like, oh, we do the switchover, but your internet won't work on this. And I was like, what are you talking about? We apparently upgraded our internet for me working from home, which makes complete sense because I do a lot of stuff. So like I need very good internet. So Krista had upgraded it and I didn't realize that we weren't on like standard internet. I completely forgot. So the guy from Spectrum was like, oh, we'll return that and then you can get new tech from us. Like bring us your old tech to the store and we'll replace it. And I was like, okay. I don't know that I trust your stuff, because this is not the first time I've had a Spectrum router go completely haywire. I'm gonna say router modem just because they're not interchangeable technically unless you buy a combo one, but every time I've run into an issue, it's been with something that was either a router modem combo or it was the primary internet thing that I was using for Spectrum. It happened when I was in grad school. It happened to my parents where like the tech just died out of the blue. We had it happen previously in this house. The version of a router they gave us didn't work. Like it, now I'm gonna keep coughing. Ugh, I've been in this office a lot. The version we hadn't been working for a while. Like it kept shutting itself off. It was having a ton of issues. And then they were like, oh, well, since you're upgrading, we'll send you new stuff. And that stuff had been working, but I'm not surprised that it just decided to not work. So we finally, we had to take back the router we bought at Best Buy. And I was like, I need them to tell me the specs. Like, I don't know. I'm trying to figure this out, but I'm tired and grouchy. And Krista's tired and grouchy. And like all of this is really upsetting her day. I had to take a sick day. Like it's a whole thing. I'm so sorry. My asthma is so flared right now. Stress and being tired and all of that. But we like took that back. We had someone help us look at stuff and the guy was like, I would get this one. And he was like, I know it's pretty, it was not cheap, mind you. But we had to get something and like, I didn't trust Spectrum to give us one that was going to work. So we got that. We went to the actual Spectrum store to finally add me to the account, because even though Krista was like, I know I have added you, they said I wasn't on the account. So it was making everything even more complicated. So we wound up returning, we were going to just return everything because I was like, well, we have the modem. And the guy was like, oh no, we can't just like not have you have stuff. And I was like, what? So like, if we had returned, I feel like he was incorrect. Like, I think I could have just brought the one we bought in and he should have been required to take everything. But he took this booster we had and the router. And I was like, well, leave me with the broken modem. So in the event that our tech, like this doesn't work and I need the tech person here, he can at least like check the broken modem. So that's currently in the car because Krista's going to take it back now that we know that this modem works. But like it was, the person I got from Spectrum was great. She got it done very quickly. And she was like, you're all synced, you're good to go. Everything is fine on our end. And I was like, okay, great. And then I go to like use the internet and it keeps saying like, the internet is not secure. The internet is not secure. I had to finish setting up the modem in the Netgear app. Like I had to like do this whole thing for Netgear. It's Netgear, not Nextgear. But I got that all set up finally and everything seems to be good. I have to reconnect like all of our tech because even though I changed everything so it would be the same for easy usage, not all tech will realize it's the same thing. So I have to check it, see how that works. But I'm finally done. Oh, now it's 2 o'clock. It was like almost 2 o'clock when I started talking. Krista picked me up food that I have not eaten while we were headed back home from Spectrum. So I need to eat and I need to shower because I am very sweaty from being in my office. And I had to turn the fan off for part of the time I was in here because I was on the phone. And some people were kind of hard to hear, but finally done. It's done. It's done. Thank goodness. That was a ridiculous day. And then my manager was like, enjoy your unexpected day off. And I'm like, dude, I'm going to be troubleshooting my whole freaking internet connection all day, which I have been. It is now 2 o'clock. And I have been working on this since 6:30, which is even longer than my normal work day. I mean, not really. My normal work, I'm not going to do the math, but normally I wouldn't start work until like 8 or 8:30. So yeah, I'm just tired. But I need to eat. I need to shower. But that's your update for the day. I have nothing else to tell you. We do have internet. I probably won't talk to you until sometime tomorrow. Oh my goodness, it's such a hassle. Such a hassle. Hopefully this router is better. The guy at Best Buy was like, it's a really good router. It's like the best one you can get for your internet speed. And I was like, oh, okay. Krista was irritated because like there was a version we could have used, but he was like, I really would say you should use this one instead. And it was like, it was more expensive than the other one, but I was like, I don't know, like we're already trying to use a booster, like maybe this would help, because Spectrum literally gave us a booster to be like, oh sorry, maybe you need this. So I'm gonna also check like how good the Wi-Fi is as I walk through the house. But that is it. That's the clip. I'm gonna go. I need to shower. I'm gonna put on comfortable clothes, and yeah, so that is the end of my day. I'm so tired. I'm so stressed out from all of this. I feel awful because since I don't drive, Krista kept having to like come see if, like, go see if she could take me somewhere. Oh, and I need to charge my battery. So I just feel bad. Like, it's not my fault the router broke, or the modem broke, but also, like, it's a hassle that it broke today, and it's a hassle that we had to deal with it today. And, like, the whole goal was to try and have me work part of today, but that's not happening because it's so late now. It was, like, such a hassle. So, yeah. I feel like I've ruined everyone's day. Even though it's not my fault the modem broke. Like, it did break. And we had to fix it before Monday. And they don't come out on, I'm sure they would have, like, they weren't going to come till tomorrow afternoon. And even then, I don't know that they would have done anything besides say, like, you need a new modem. And I don't guarantee that they would have brought one. So, because I've had that happen. Literally. Where they've been like, oh, this is broken. Sorry, we don't have any. So, I was like, but anyway, I'm gonna go. I'm tired. Shower. I need to shower and I need to eat. And I'm gonna have to take dogs out again. But I think he can eat first. I don't know. I'm gonna go, Grandmalinos. I will talk to you tomorrow. I can give you updates on Charlie's vet visit. And I will probably read tomorrow. So I'll have updates for you. Oh, and I'll have new hair tomorrow. So I'll have lots of updates for you tomorrow that are not me complaining about internet and internet tech. Maybe that's also why my laptop was being weird. Maybe the router, like the modem was going. Who knows? I will talk to you tomorrow, Grandmalinos, and I promise I will try and be in a better mood. Hello, Grandmalinos. First update, yes indeed, I did get my hair cut. I'm still messing with it because my hair's been long for a bit, so it doesn't want to part the way it normally would when it's this short, but I'm just messing with it. But yeah, I got really tired of having long hair on top, so I got it all cut off. With like a razor, so I didn't do it. I did go see my hair person who, she cut it and did all the things and reshaped the sides. So there you go. I have very short hair now for the rest of the hot summer. And I'm wearing this camp counselor-esque shirt. It just makes me think of a camp counselor because, and I don't want to pick it up. So I have started the Summer Fun Massacre and I'm not super far, but I thought I would give you some kind of update. Because I'm hoping to finish it today, but I am going to change into like pajama-y clothes because we're staying in for the rest of the day. We did go out to brunch just because we thought it would be fun. We were going to walk, but it started raining. So we grabbed brunch. We had to run out and grab a couple things for Krista to take to work. So we did that. Had to return a puppy thing that did not work for Charlie because we got it to take her home in, like a bag thing, but she was too big. So we returned that and then we came home. We just took everyone out and got them situated. And yesterday, Charlie had a vet appointment very early in the morning. Everything was all good. We learned she is already 16 pounds, even though she's just now 11 weeks old. So the vet was kind of like, how big did they say she was supposed to be? We were like, well, they said maybe 35 to 40. And the vet tech was like, let's see how much she weighs next time she comes in and then we can give you a better idea. Her immediate thought was that Charlie will probably be about 50 pounds because she's pretty big for an 11-week-old. But we'll see. It is what it is. Bruni was supposed to be 35 pounds and that boy is 80 something. So, you know, you give us a puppy and it immediately is not the size it's supposed to be. But that appointment went well. It was just really early, so we were tired for most of the day, and so we napped, and then I got my haircut, and then we came home. We really did not do anything outside the vet appointment because we had to get out of the house by 7. Actually before that, to get to our appointment on time, so we were both just like really wiped out. Now back to the book, which I moved. Why did I do that? Okay, look at, no. I go to show you the cover and it's like, what are you trying to do? Okay, hold on. Cover. Okay, so there have been a number of characters just kind of like super name dropped. So I will tell you, in the start of this book, I have figured out that I did not read the synopsis, so just know I figured out that it has to be 1992 because they keep mentioning that there was this horrible event that took place at a summer camp in 1983, and that was 9 years ago. And we know that because the character we have met, who is like our primary guy, so many dude names were all dropped at once, Tom. So the guy we're primarily following right now is Tom. He is connected kind of in like a general capacity to the events in 1983, from what I can tell. And he went back out. So he had been called out on this August night, which it's convenient that I'm reading it in August, because there is actually a summer camp running again in 92, the time we're in now. And the counselors were really freaked out. And the guy who owns the camp was like, could you just come out and like do, not like a wellness check, but like check the property, tell him everything's fine. He didn't see anything, said everything was fine, but they were all really like panicked. And then he like had a very bad feeling a few hours later. He went back to the camp, and of course his bad feeling rang true. Something truly horrible has happened, and we have a final girl named Laura. And that's all that's really happened. I've gotten to the point where like a bunch of cops have shown up. Well, is it the sheriff's department? Yeah. It's like the sheriff's department, and then like the cops have shown up. They might call in like the Texas Rangers because we're in Texas. So like a lot of stuff is just going on, and all we know that they've mentioned is like there was in 83 like a specific legend that tied into it, and so like the killer has like a rabbit face, possibly like a rabbit mask, and that's all I can really tell you. It was very gruesome. In that we saw the carnage of the night, but not the events that took place. But that's all that's happened. So it's odd to me because we've just kind of been thrown into like, things have already happened. This is like, and now we're trying to deal with it. I was expecting it to start kind of standardly like at the camp and then like things would happen, but that's not what's going on. So I don't know. I did skim like the chapter list because again, I didn't read the synopsis, and it's annoying to pull up the synopsis on my iPad, so I didn't. But none of the chapters are labeled like different years, so I don't think we're gonna jump back in time, but maybe we do and it's just not labeled. I don't know. So we'll just see how it goes. I am reading this for, well, I am reading it in general, but I've decided to make it the damaged prompt for Buzzword because there's blood on the VHS cover on, like, the cover of the book is a VHS tape, and so you have like the slide-in case that you put a VHS in, and the cover for the tape, which is part of the book cover, has blood all over it, and it does notably look like blood spatter, so I'm counting that as damaged, because there were a couple other like blood spattery looking ones in Kayla's list of suggestions. So that's what I'm reading this for. Like, I would read it in general, but I'm counting it for that. And yeah, I've already decided what I'm doing for the other one, and I have decided that because this also has a VHS cover, I'm gonna read Summer Slasher in this vlog because the covers, like the book for that is a VHS tape too, with like the slip thing for the version I have. So I was like, in my brain, they have to go together. Like, they're both about summer in some capacity and like slashers, and I just feel like I have to read them together. I am not going to read them back to back, but those two are going to be in this, and I'm going to read We Don't Talk About Carol. So the 4 books will be the one we've already seen: Dead Men Dream of Electric Sheep, The Summer Fun Massacre. Then I don't know if I'm going to read Summer Slasher and then We Don't Talk About Carol, or flip it, but those are the 4 books. I'm going to just move The Brides and Bone of My Bone to like the next vlog, because these in my head feel connected because I can tie them into, they either connect to each other or they tie into the literally Dead Book Club / Buzzword stuff. So that's what I'm doing, but I'm going to change. I may not talk to you until tomorrow. We'll see how long it takes me to finish this, because we're going to chill for a little bit, and then we're going to do some stuff with Charlie, to try and get her to settle on the couch a bit more. And then I think that's it. I need to do dishes. I really have to do like some house stuff. But I am going to read. But I can't do any of that in a white shirt. The dishes I have to do have tomato sauce in them. And I was like, I will destroy that shirt. So I'm gonna go. I will talk to you when I have an update on Summer Fun Massacre. Really probably just when I finish it. Because at this point I can't really figure out how to tell you anything else because they've done a ton of name dropping. Like every officer of the law that's involved in this book like all appeared at once. And I was like, oh, that's a lot of like generic men's names. Like none of them have like male names that stand out. So I'm like, we have Tom, we have Bob. I don't even know if there's actually a Bob. But like all the names are kind of blurring together because I was like, they're all cops and they all have generic names. Okay. So we'll just see how things go. But I will talk to you later, Gremlinos. Hello, Gremlinos. It is like 9:30 and I actually finished The Summer Fun Massacre by Craig DeLuise. Let's see if this will officially, oh, look at that. You can see the title page. We're gonna go with that. I have finished this. So I already told you we follow Tom. There are no back and forth chapters. We just follow Tom in 1992, investigating events connected to and that occurred at the Summer Fun camp. We get into like the lore of the town and this whole like, it's not in the synopsis so I can't really tell you. I kind of did that there was like a rabbit masked killer. We get more into the lore of that and how it connects to the town, and I feel like telling you that isn't a huge spoiler because genuinely you know there's some kind of slasher element. That is the slasher element. Also, this book is wildly boring. It's a choice to have us follow Tom, who was not present at the 1983 slasher event, and also was not present until after the events of everything in 1992. It's just weirdly dull. And like constantly there is, so they mentioned there is someone from 1983, Marigold, who goes by Mary now, and she and Tom briefly dated as youths. And so they like they have that like vague connection. They don't really talk anymore, so it doesn't, it's whatever. But she comes into it as like the voice of knowledge, I almost want to say, where she's like, you're looking in all the right places, Tom, but you don't know. Constantly. The woman is constantly saying things like that. And Tom is like, no, it's fine. We know what's going on. And I'm like, God dang it, Tom, shush. Like, Tom is oddly frustrating to follow because Tom, while he should not be dumb, the length of this book just makes him look dumb. We're constantly having the survivor from the event in both 1992 and 1983 mentioning like odd things, and Tom's kind of like, well, yeah, everything seems weird and I'll just keep investigating. And then we have to deal with so many other cops. So many other cops. And then like there's like info dumps from like random people who are like, oh yeah, didn't you know that, Tom? And I'm like, apparently not. Tom, who's been a cop since 83, has no clue. I'm like, geez Louise. Like, it was just so weirdly tedious, like following Tom. And I was like, why are we following Tom? Why did we choose Tom? And I understand why we chose Tom, because actually when you get to the end of this book, it reveals to you there's going to be a sequel called The Yule Day Slaughter. And I was like, what? Why? And like, it makes sense. They can. But also like, I don't care. Like, I was so, it just felt so set-up-y, and it took so long, and Tom was so oblivious, and taking so long to, like, understand, and there's, like, red herrings, but the red herrings take a really long time, and, like, there's literally, like, there's a red herring with an additional red herring, and then a not exactly a red herring, but still a red herring, all, like, happening at once at the end of the book, and I was like, none of this is correct. Like, as you're reading it, like, as the reader, you're like, no one has talked about this book that I have seen, and I'm just like, this was so dull and like not gross. Like, I read his last book, the horror movie one, which I actually gave to my brother because I was like, I will never reread this. That was gory as heck. Like, so gory, so gross. And the plot of that was just kind of like, eh, which is why I was like, oh, I probably wouldn't read it. Like, it was fine, but it wasn't anything I would gravitate towards. I really enjoyed episode 13, and that one isn't I feel like there's a little gore in there, but episode 13 kind of feels like House of Leaves if you made House of Leaves more action-y. This is just boring. Like, Tom is not present for the events, so they get like chapter recaps, and I was like, but the name of it is Summer Fun Massacre, and like, we're not really actually spending that much time talking about it. You're really not. Like, the whole book doesn't even really focus on it that much, which feels very misdirecty. And I was just like, this is so, like, I kept reading it, and I like looked at Krista and I was like, I want to finish this book, because she was like, oh, you can, like, I'll make sure that you have time to read today. And I was like, yeah, cool, I'll finish this book. And literally the whole time I was like, this is so boring. What is going on? Like, it feels like the first book in a series, but like so slow paced in the setup. Like, if you have read Camp Slaughter, which I know a number of people don't like, that book is way more action packed, has a crap ton more going on, and it's the first in like the series because I've read all of them, and this was just dull. Like, I was like, why did we pick this random man to follow who is not actually present at any of the events? Like, he knows nothing, and he is just tiresome. Like, it was just so boring. Like, that's all I can say, is I was so bored the entire time. And I have no desire to read this Christmas version. It will presumably be the same character as our lead and the same character as our slasher, which, like, I'm not telling you any details about that except that there's like a rabbit thing happening in here. Also, like, if you have watched a specific episode of Supernatural, or just like consumed various items of media that discuss folklore, the history that they present for this like legend of the town, I was like, this is literally ripped off from so many things. And I'm just gonna say, like, I don't want to, it's not a spoiler technically, because it's not the same thing, because they decided it's not the same thing. They bring up this legend, and when I was reading the legend, the only thing I could think of was, this sounds an awful gosh darn lot like the legend of the Wendigo, though it is not the legend of the Wendigo. Please, I'm not telling you, that is not in here. That's not what anything is. But it sounds so remarkably similar, with just like a slight tweak. And then later, they mention a peace pipe, and I'm like, did we just like do a casual research of like Native American folklore? And we were like, yeah, that's fine. I was just like, what? And also, like, when we got to like references to things, it's been a minute since I read Stolen Tongues, which is also, I believe, by a white man. I also feel like there was a similarity with what was being discussed, and I was like, could we not repeat things? Like, it was just so boring. Like, if you want a creepy slaughter thing, just read Camp Slaughter. Or, I mean, Stolen Tongues was creepy. A little random, but creepy. But this was just dull. Like, all the events happened basically off page, and then they'd be like, okay, so tell us what happened. And I was like, this is called a Summer Fun Massacre, and I'm not getting any summer fun or really on page massacre. So, you know, I feel let down, but it does fit. The buzzword, like, damage. You're not gonna stay. This keeps not wanting to stay, but okay, we'll try and close up. It truly hates me, this book. But you see, it's supposed to be a VHS, and there's blood on the cover. See? So it fits for damage. We did it. You counted. And you suck. It's not good. I'm sorry. Normally I don't say don't read a book, but I was so bored that I feel like, in good faith, I can't tell you to read this book. I can't even be like, there's an audience for it, when I'm like, Camp Slaughter exists. Stolen Tongues exist. Far better things exist. Just not. You know what? read I Was a Teenage Slasher. Do that, because that at least is by Stephen Graham Jones and is clever in the creation of the like slasher element. This was not clever. This was a something. But as I told you, we are only reading 4 books in this vlog. I changed my plan because I am chaos and truly I can do what I please. I was debating. I was going to read The Mystery next to give myself a palate cleanser, but this was so frustrating to me that I've decided the next book I'm going to read is Summer Slasher by E.L. Chen. This is getting its moment. Everyone is obsessed with this right now. Like, I feel like everyone is reading it, or a large majority. Like, yep, asthma. Okay, we're good. Gabby mentioned that a ton of people read this for Summerween, and totally makes sense. Definitely makes sense. It was like the unofficial buddy read of Summerween, and then Kayla read it because she was sent a copy, I guess. I just know Kayla also read it. I don't know how I would feel about this at all. I love the character art on the cover. I would like to point out that everyone kind of reminds me of someone, like in real life. Also, that mask is definitely giving me Slasher from like the show Slasher, the Canadian version of American Horror Story. Slasher is incredible and you should watch it. It gets very creepy. And also is better written consistently than American Horror Story. So go Canada. But this is reminding me of that mask. Also of the mask that I saw on the cover of, I don't know the name of it. Crap. The author of Fantastic Land wrote another book. I have not been able to track it down in any library system currently. I don't remember the name of it now. I feel like a dope. But it kind of looks like the cover on that too. I feel like all of these characters kind of look like actors I have seen. Like, kind of. Which is clever and interesting. But I'm curious to see how this goes. I don't really care about sprayed edges, but these are fun. I like that it's a VHS tape, and I am curious. So we'll see. We're gonna read this next, because hopefully it'll be better, at least a little, and I will feel less irritated. I don't know how this was so boring. He wrote like a cop procedural. Sorry, also, this book has decided it also hates me because it keeps flipping from the cover to any other page. This is a long clip. I'm gonna go. I'm tired. I'm wearing my Goosebumps shirt. Also, Spirit Halloween is open. I'm just gonna say this very quickly. We saw that it was open. We went in and we walked around really fast, just to see what they had. I was very let down by the dog costumes, because I kind of want to dress Charlie like Gizmo because she genuinely looks like Gizmo. But I don't like those costumes where it's only the front half of the dog. It's a me thing. I think they're weird. So I didn't get it. I looked at it and I was like, I feel like that'll be uncomfortable for her and I don't want her to wear it. Because, like, I wouldn't put that on Kira or Bruni. And I was like, they've only ever worn full body costumes. Like, if they're going to wear anything at all, they've worn something that's, like, covered their whole body very temporarily. I don't leave it on for long. But yeah, so we didn't get anything. We just walked around. But I kind of want to go back because I feel like taking photos of this in Spirit Halloween would be fun. But anyway, that's my tangent. This is next. We'll see what I feel about it. I, again, really do like the VHS element because I'm a sucker for VHS tapes. But I need to go. So I will talk to you sometime tomorrow, Gremolinos. I do want to do a tarot card pull, but I don't know if I will, like, start this in the morning and then do that. I don't know. But I need to get downstairs. I gotta take out a puppy and I need to get ready for bed. So I will talk to you in the morning. Good morning, Gremolinos. It is Monday. I am set up for work. I've already done my tarot draw. I did it while I was watching the playback of the live for Dead But Dreaming of Electric Sheep, which was very interesting, and I do feel like a lot of people had like the same thoughts as me. What's interesting though is they did mention the interludes as being something to like trick AI, but also no one mentioned the fact that if you have text behind the actual text that you're supposed to be paying attention to, a system would be reading the background text and also the text on top of it. So that would also confuse the system because it's throwing earlier parts of the story in, or later parts of the story in too early, but with stuff mixed into it. So it would mess up what it thinks it's supposed to do. It's like a visual glitch. But it's weird to me that the audiobook would actually read that. And I'm almost wondering if it's to also trick like those AI voice things, because there is this like push for AI audiobook narrators. So I'm wondering, and not a push that anyone wants, like companies are doing it, but I'm wondering if that's something that he also took into account, like only a human could read the book, because if AI tried to read it, it wouldn't make sense. That is just a thought that I'm having. But the live was good. Sorry, the Kira is barking. It's trash day. And so she is barking at the garbage man. I know it is a garbage man. I have met them. Recycling is a woman. She's lovely. But the people who get our trash are men. Just not that you needed to know this. That is not how you spell that word. I just opened something for work and I'm like, that's not a word. So, card pull. I'll get into that because I don't have a book update. I pulled The Magician reversed. So, oh, I'll show you the art. This is The Magician. If it will focus, because it's upside down, I think it's even more confused. I'm gonna flip it right side up, but just know it was upside down. I think it will have an easier time. There we go. This one's really pretty. But I did draw it in the reverse. So according to this, it says maybe you feel hesitant about taking a step towards something new, like you haven't planned enough to get started. You want everything to be lined up and perfectly in place before starting to chase this dream. However, the Magician is reminding you to stay alert for any small opportunities. Maybe they're building blocks to your goal, maybe you've started on your big lifelong project, or you're feeling like you aren't making enough progress or feeling successful. The Magician can also be a sign that your goal is wholly self-involved. You're working too much on your personal gain. Focus on higher self and what your purpose is. Are your goals helping you reach that purpose? And then the model is Jewel, they, them. So that is what I drew today. I am hoping today is slightly less chaotic. The weekend was good. We had a very, mostly calm weekend. After I told you we were gonna just chill for the rest of the evening, we actually had to go out. And that's because I went to go do the dishes and Krista was like, I think we need to replace the mat under the rack because we don't have a dishwasher. It's really hard to hook one up in our kitchen and the house didn't come with one. I think it used to have one, not a big deal, but we don't have one. So we have this marbly cutting board that is really big and we use that to hold one of the drying racks, and another drying rack lives in the opposite side of our sink because we have a double sink. And sometimes the drying mat thing hits a point where it just needs removed, and sometimes washing them doesn't really help, just because there are a lot of coffee grounds because I make a lot of coffee that gets stuck in them. And so I checked it and I was like, no, it's gross. We should just get it, put a new one in. And I could have sworn we had a ton of drying mats from different seasonal sales, different things. Could not find a single friggin' one. Looked through the entire house, looked everywhere, and Krista was like, we should just go to the store. So we actually went to TJ Maxx because that's where we normally get them because they're cheap, and we found a 3-pack for 15 bucks. So now I have 3 drying mats. They're Halloween themed. I would have bought anything because I just needed a drying mat, but we have it and we did that. But we had to quickly put on going out clothes to go get that and then come home. And I was like, this is ridiculous. I'm so annoyed. And you know what's gonna happen? I'm gonna find the drying mat that I thought we had today. I know I am, because I know there's one in this house. I was just like, what the heck? But that was yesterday. I have not started reading Summer Slasher, so I don't have an update for you. I'm gonna try and read some during lunch. But really, that is it. I will talk to you about that later. We didn't really do a heck of a lot beyond that, running around, that I haven't already told you about. So I will talk to you later today, Gremlinos, when I have some kind of update on Summer Slasher. I am wearing a Scream shirt, even though I feel like all the Scream movies really take place during the school year. But I debated about wearing my, one of my Friday the 13th shirts, but I had pulled this out over the weekend. I was like, okay, we'll just wear this. But yeah, that is it. But right now, I will talk to you when I have a Summer Slasher update, Gremlinos. Okay, hi. This is just a weird, quick update. I haven't even started Summer Slasher. So the version I have has this slipcover, like a VHS tape. And so I was pulling it out because I want you to see the sprayed edges, because this is how the book is set up. You slide it in. I have a bookmark in here. But you slide it in like this, da-da. And I just realized that if that's the case, the VHS tape is backwards. So, okay. And I will get into why. So on the spine, it has the sticker that you would put on the back of a VHS tape, but this is the front. You can't put a sticker on the front of the VHS tape because I'm pretty sure it will screw up your VHS player. So technically this needs to be over here. So I feel like technically they needed to do the sprayed edges the opposite direction. Now again, you could have it loaded into the box backwards, they could still have the edges on the side, but I actually think it would have been a better, more clever setup if it slid into the VHS case with this on the outside, because that is typically what you're supposed to do, and then you could like reveal the sprayed edges when you pulled it out. Like I get the reasoning, but I feel like the person who designed this maybe didn't know how VHS tapes work, which is plausible because I'm old. So I'm just like, maybe they just don't know that you can't put the sticker here, or they thought it looked better this way. But that's just my tiny visual, this is incorrect. And I don't think this is the only VHS tape to do this. I think the Geneva Rose book, You Shouldn't Have Come Here, also has the tape backwards, where like the label for the book is on this side, but it should be on this side. I'm not 100% sure, but I think it is. Or like, a Dead 11 does it correctly, but it's all like one cover. So like Dead 11 has like the label of the book here, like normal, and then everything is this way. But technically this tape is backwards. Like you don't sticker the top, you sticker this part. I have a VHS tape downstairs, but I didn't want to try and pull it up to explain, but like this on a normal VHS lifts up and there's tape, physical tape, this stuff right here. And this is where you put your sticker. So yeah, visually, I'm just like, that's incorrect. And I just thought I should tell you, because if I don't do it now, I'm gonna harp on it when I'm actually talking about the book. So I gotta go though. I just noticed it and was like, oh yeah, that's backwards to me. It's not tape. I mean, I get the design. They want these to stick out, but also this should technically be on the outside for a VHS box. But it's fine. It's fine. It's fine. I'm just nitpicky and old. I gotta go. So I will actually give you an update when I've read something. I just needed you to know this visual thing that was bugging me about the book. All right, talk to you later, Grumbly Nose. Hello, Grumbly Nose. It is the end of the workday, and I do have a summer slasher update for you. I know this is not the traditional cover people will be holding up, but it's what I'm going to hold up. The other cover I will hold up in a sec because I'm going to like use the names, but I am liking this so far. I'm actually like underlining some stuff and doing some like teeny annotations. You can probably see my red pen, just because I made a chart in the beginning of the book, so I could remember who everyone was. So like this is just a chart of everyone on the actual cover, just to make sure that I was identifying everyone correctly in my head. So for your reference, using this slipcover, so these are all friends who got together like in high school, and what is it? The Jump Scare Society. So they were in this like horror movie club that Patrick created, and Patrick is here on the bottom, oh gosh, it's easier, bottom right. So Patrick had started the club, and then this is Carrie in the middle. Then this is Jason, to her right, the way I'm holding this up, but there's Jason. Then Mikey, who is Jason's cousin. Then this is Tiffany. Then above Patrick is Jen. Then we have Freddie, and then that is everyone who's on the cover itself. There are some additional characters who have been mentioned. There's Carrie's ex-boyfriend Daniel. A park ranger was mentioned. I didn't include him on my list because he just kind of showed up at the start of the book, and I wasn't like expecting him to show up anymore, but he is a character that appears. There is a guy dating Tiffany right now named Clive, who is her TA. Fun fact, if you're a TA in a college, you're not allowed to date one of your students. It's normally in the contract you sign when you start work, but people consistently forget that when they write books. Also, I guess people don't really care, but he wouldn't be allowed to date her. Just throwing that out there as someone who worked as a TA, and I get very, very irked when they include that. But Tiffany is a character where something like that would happen. Like, it just feels like something that would happen. So in this, we are in the small town where Slasher, a low-budget 80s horror movie, was filmed, and the town every summer does this huge thing to like promote Slasher, like the anniversary of the movie. It's a huge deal. It's the 20th anniversary, I believe, or no, it can't be the 20th. That wouldn't work. It's the 40th anniversary, I believe. Actually, this is on the front. I will double check. It has to be the 40th though. Yep. It is the 40th anniversary of the film. And so the town is doing this whole thing, and using a bit of finagling, Patrick has managed to get them like a weekend at the cabin Slasher was actually filmed at. Now, he was able to do that because Jason's mom runs the leasing agency that controls the cabin, so she kind of let them sneak on in there even though it's about to be like the busiest season. So all of these friends are together. They have not seen each other in a while, for the most part. It's been 4 years since high school. They are all in college, and it's supposed to kind of like bring them back together. Patrick really wanted them all to meet up, so they've all kind of agreed they come on this trip. Now, at this trip, I'm gonna flip this. There have been some odd events to start. So, let's see. Yes, they're in the sleepy town of Cedar Lake, in a remote cabin. There's not much on here. Yes. So there is a mention of a masked killer showing up. Now, what happens in this is a few people start seeing odd things. Jen thinks she sees someone, but there is a summer camp kind of nearby, so she's like, well, maybe it's a counselor. We also do learn that Tiffany's sister Alice is at sleepaway camp across the way. So like there is a very active camp sort of near where the cabin is, so it could be someone from that camp. Then while Tiffany is swimming, she thinks someone's in the water with her, and then Freddie appears late and kind of yells like, I saw the slasher, I saw the slasher, because the character is just called the slasher, and he's freaking out, and they're like, that's, you probably saw a super fan, like this happens. And there's even like a shadow play that occurs. If you don't know what a shadow play is, it's kind of when the movie plays and then there are actors who don't typically speak, they just kind of like move around. Sometimes they speak, depending, but they'll like move around and act out the scenes with the movie behind them, or in like a sort of similar fashion, but with the restrictions of the area in front of the screen. So they were all actually participants in a shadow production when they were younger, at the local theater, the Rialto. They were all in it. They all played titular characters. No, titular would be the slasher. The slasher is typically played, they inform you, in these shadow plays by like a guest. And then everyone else is someone who comes in every time. So in the shadow play, I'm trying to remember who everyone was. I don't know that they've actually told us exactly who everyone was, but they were all involved. And because Carrie is like so chaste, she was the final girl in this production. We know specifically some of them. They have marked most of them in like who they were in the book so far, and that's been kind of fun to see, and how that will like play out as it goes, like if it ties into their roles or not. But there is a figure, and they're all now like trapped at this cabin, and the movie itself sounds a bit like a mashup of like the slasher, a mashup of like Michael Myers and Jason. And if you haven't noticed, everyone I think has pointed this out, all of the characters in this book are named after horror characters. Daniel is tripping me up because it's the ex-boyfriend, but I don't know that that one really matters. But like Clive would be Clive Barker, that's the TA. And then everyone else, I already rattled off their names, but they all also kind of fit an archetype. This is more diverse casting, so they do note that Carrie and Freddie are Asian. Do they say? I don't remember if they actually tell us specifically, but they say that in town people kind of lump them together a lot because they were like, oh, you're probably related, right? You're both Asian. So we get that kind of like thing where Carrie's like, I don't really want to be hanging out with you right now because everyone kind of like default put us together all the time. So we have that. Then Jen, I believe, is, I don't know that they've officially said her name. Looks as though she would be like it's a Spanish-esque name, but I don't think we get an actual description. And then everyone has names. Patrick is black, he very specifically says that. Also, Patrick is gay, which is lovely. And Jen is gay. And I'm not going to tell you who everyone's identities are, but there is some bi rep in here, and that's all I'm going to say. I knew there were dogs barking, and like there's some fun stuff, and in part was why I started underlining things, so I was like, what? So I'm having fun. It is very campy. Like, it's a campy, silly time. It is far better than Summer Fun Massacre, so I think that's why I'm enjoying it more. And it is giving me what I wanted from How to Kill a Guy in 10 Dates without being as over the top. There are a lot of horror movie references, but it does make sense, and I don't feel like I am entirely being beaten over the head with them, like I did with How to Kill a Guy in 10 Dates, though they're pretty present, and a few movies are consistently mentioned, especially Friday the 13th Part 3, which is so odd to me that that one very specifically is getting mentioned. I have seen it, it's just been a long time. I'm gonna go though because the dogs are barking and I need to head out, but I am enjoying it. We have hit the moment where there are slasher things occurring, so I very much appreciate that. But Krista and I need to run some errands, and then we're gonna have dinner. So I am gonna head out. But just know I am enjoying Summer Slasher. There's not a lot to tell you, just like it's a fun, silly time, and I'm only annotating it because there are some goofy things that I have seen that made me chuckle. So I just decided I would because I was already writing in the book for the character list. So yeah, but you're gonna come on some of the errands with us. So be ready for some errand running, Gremlino. Hello, I know, still in the office. I just double checked and it just says her name is Jennifer De La Fuente. And then she calls herself a woman of color, but there's no like specific, like, is she like there's no specific identifier. So she's a woman of color. So we do have multiple people of color in this, which is great. I just wish I could give you more specifics, but they're just not in there. It just doesn't say. And I said Spanish admittedly because I was like, De La Fuente would technically, like, technically is Spanish language, but I was like, that's probably not, she's not from Spain. She's definitely not from Spain, because we wouldn't have a character from Spain. But I was just like, I don't know how to explain what I'm trying to say because I wanted there to be more specificity, I guess. But she does refer to herself as a woman of color, so just know this actually has a pretty solid cast. We have 1, 2, 3, 4. Yes, looking vaguely at the cover, 4 characters of color. Out of 7, so it seems pretty solid. A bit more diversity than a normal horror movie. But yeah, gonna go. You're still coming on errands. I need to change really fast though, because I am very, very warm. It was cool and now it has gotten very hot, and so I want to put on slightly different clothes to do our errand running. So I will see you on the errands.
Tell me what you seek. Luck, power, love, or
Hello, Gremlinos. It is morning. I've already had to do a bunch of stuff, but I drew a tarot card, and this one is very interesting. So it's the 7 of Swords. The art is like this. Can you see it? Will it focus? No, yes. Some days we focus, some days we don't. Yes, I'm really trying. We're gonna hide behind the card. No, it really doesn't want to focus. Nope. Has no desire. I tried. So this one says dishonesty, lies, insecurity, withholding, strategy. The 7 of Swords indicates dishonesty, whether your own or that of another party. This card asks you to reassess any secretive behaviors you may be exhibiting. Are these secrets keeping you safe from something, or are you harboring them for someone else's sake? It's time to analyze what you are keeping to yourself, or maybe even from yourself. The 7 of Swords not only suggests a secret being kept or dishonest activity, but it also bring your attention to a truth that you don't want to face, or maybe something you haven't considered that has been influencing you without your knowledge. If you're the one being tricked, stay on the lookout and try being a little more aware of strange situations. Greed, thoughtless behavior, and impulsiveness are traits of the 7 of Swords. It can be easily spotted. That one is so odd. I've never drawn one like that before. And that was upright, like I didn't pull it in reverse. I'm gonna try one. Oh, I didn't tell you the model. Oh, you can see it this time. Look at that. Shoot. I normally tell you the model name. Oh, look at that. That was very easy. Steph. They, them. All caps for the name. Brain. That is that. I wish I could put that away. Oh, the book won't go back in my bag. Oh gosh, that's weird. I was missing a card? Oh, strange. Wonder if that means... So strange. Well, oddly enough, the 7 of Pentacles reversed was in the bag. So that's odd. I'm gonna look that one up too, just because it was like in the bag. I promise I'm gonna get to actual books, but it's weird that I missed one card because I swear I double checked it. Swords, Pentacles. What's the Seven of Pentacles? Steady progress, patience, and growth. The reverse is take a long hard look at what you're investing your time and energy. Is it still making you happy? Make sure you're using your resources wisely. Maybe focusing on a big picture goal that isn't currently bringing you joy. Figure out why not. Are you spending too much time dawdling and not making any forward progress? Are you using resources effectively? Remember, you don't need to trudge through something that is making you miserable. Goalposts can change, and that's okay. And Adrian M, they, them is the Seven of Pentacles. It's so strange. I'm only reading you both because it's odd that I never miss a card. Like, I always triple check. And I just, like, didn't notice. How odd. How odd. So there's that. Interesting cards. Brain. Sorry, I'm a little tired today. We even went to bed early. I'm just sleepy. Part of that is, I think, my fault. So when I planned dinner yesterday, I am gonna get to the book, I promise. So it was cold, like not cold, but it was like in the 60s. And I was like, oh, well, I'll make soup because we had enough stuff that I can make like a version of the tapato soup that I make, which is just potato soup. And I was like, oh, I'll do that. By the time we actually ate the soup, it was like in the mid 70s and so hot. Oh, Charlie is yelling. Why are you yelling, Charlie? She just went out, so she doesn't have to go to the bathroom. Sometimes she gets irritated and she yells at Kira because she wants Kira to pay attention to her. I think that's what's happening. I'll give her a sec. She should calm down. I don't... Hold on. I don't know why she's yelling. I'm gonna have to go check in a sec. She will be okay. I'm gonna go see what she's yelling at. Hold on. No idea. She's totally fine. I have no idea. Now she's yelling at me. She's yelling at me because I walked away. She doesn't need to go out. Like, she literally went out less than 20 minutes ago and she is fine. I just don't know why she's screaming. She wants attention, for sure. Those are attention barks. Like, she's demanding attention. Charlie, you are okay! My gosh. Apparently she is not okay. I really want to talk to you about the book. Anyway, Kristen and I ate very spicy soup. And then we both did not feel well because we were too hot. So that was my fault. Though we did go to Spirit, you did see that. The Camp Harbor Lake setup is very, very cool. I really like it. And I like the animatronics this year. Nothing else really like was interesting. I'm not buying any animatronics. I have enough animatronics. Stripe is all I need. He's right there. He's good. I don't need anything else. But I like looking at them and they were pretty cool. So it was just fun hanging out and the setup was really neat. There were like buttons and stuff. So it was just fun going, but like literally we went through the animatronics area and I made sure not to film any children. It was pretty hard, but they weren't that busy. So thankfully there were a couple kids and like very polite kids. It's like one kid was like running through the area and when he saw Kristen and I, he like stopped and he walked politely the opposite direction. Didn't, like, he was trying not to bump into us, I think. So that was very sweet of him. And yeah, so we did that and then came home and I basically unintentionally made us both sick by serving us very spicy hot soup on a hot day. It was cool when I had the plan. I just felt like an idiot. Other than that, I have finished Summer Slasher and this was fun. This was a fun time, so much better than the Summer Fun Massacre. This was just a fun time. It's not like the world's best written novel, but it was fun. And you know what? There's gayness. It's so gay. There's gay yearning. There's gay nonsense. So it gets extra points for being gay. It was fun. And it actually teases a sequel and I would read it. I would read the sequel. Because it was just fun. It was a fun time. It's not that long. And so I was just having a great time. Again, I don't normally annotate, but it was just fun to like write little notes, especially in the gay yearning and why didn't you just kiss already scenes. So I just had a fun time. Again, there's not much more to tell you. This follows traditional slasher setups, very slasher movie, very, you know what's, you know the plot beats, I will say, because you know kind of what to expect because it is a slasher. And they do mention a number of horror movies. Again, I didn't mind it as much in this as I did in How to Kill a Guy in 10 Dates. For some reason, that book, it was just like hitting me over the head. And this, it made sense because they're like kind of young and like they're a horror like group, like they watch horror movies all the time. So it like made sense for them to be referencing stuff. Again, it is odd to me that they consistently mentioned Friday the 13th Part 3. But also they mentioned Freddy, The Nightmare on Elm Street Part 2, and I was gonna wear my Freddy shirt, but I think it's in the laundry. So I'm just wearing my fun Dante's Inferno Club shirt that I've had forever. But yeah, this was fun. This was fun. It made me chuckle. It gave me, like, things are not, again, this is not like the most like literature ever, but it was a fun, silly time and I enjoyed it, and I would read another one. I would read more from E.L. Chen, who I believe has another book coming out that's like found footage themed, but not until next year, but I would read that. I am very intrigued. Now on to the last book of the vlog. We will be reading We Don't Talk About Carol, which is the August Literally Dead book club pick. It is a mystery, and it's like a familial mystery. It ties into like a whole family drama. Is there a slip in here? Oh my gosh, they actually have a little patron review slip. That's so interesting. But yeah, this looks pretty easy, pretty quick. I am curious. Also, humorously, my mom's name is Carol. So I was like, that's weird. I am also counting this for group, the group or club prompt. And it is a bit of a stretch, but we defines a group. I actually looked up the dictionary definition of we to verify, and it would fit because we means group. So I will be using this for the group prompt, which will knock out both buzzword prompts in this vlog and also get me both Literally Dead book club books within the time for their live events. I did finish Dead Men Dream of Electric Sheep in time to watch the live event, though I did have to watch it after the day it was on, or streamed or whatever. And the live event for this is not for a little bit, so I have plenty of time, but I just wanted to kind of knock everything out together. So yeah, that is everything for now. Interesting card draws. That was very curious, since it's 2 instead of 1, because that's so strange. I've literally never left one in the bag before and not caught it before the shuffle, so that was interesting. But yeah, that is everything. I think, like, that's all I have for you for right now. I will update you when I have a We Don't Talk About Carol update. Also, please note, Charlie calmed down. So I'm guessing a cat was doing something. I don't know where Binks is, and Binks notoriously is all up in everybody's business, so I'm guessing that's what's going on. But I'm gonna go. I will talk to you when I have an update on We Don't Talk About Carol, and we'll see what I think. Again, it's very weird to say the word Carol over and over because, again, it's my mom's name. It's weird. But I'll give you an update when I have one, Grumelinos. Hello, Grumelinos. I took a shower before work because I had the time, and I did a tarot pull. I just feel really worn out today. I don't think I'm getting sick or anything. I'm just kind of tired. We just watched, actually, oddly enough, if you've never heard of it, we watched the first 2 episodes of the Scream TV series from forever ago. I had watched it so long ago and filmed recap videos of like every episode on this channel. I didn't get rid of them. Like, I kept all my old videos that didn't get copyright strikes. And so, like, you could watch those if you want, but I told Krista about it, and so we watched the first 2 episodes. I don't know if we're gonna keep watching. I don't know if she was that like intrigued or invested, because it's like a very campy, like I think it's 2010s show. Like, it's very just like dramatic teens, but I remember being very into it, so I was like, it's on Tubi. I got like a targeted Instagram post. I think the internet was like, hey, you should watch this again, because it hasn't been on streaming since it aired then. I don't think, like, I don't remember being able to find it, but yeah, so I watched a couple episodes and then we went to bed. It's not anything particularly exciting. I didn't really read any last night. I did read a little bit, like a tiny bit, but not enough to really talk about. We talk about Carol, so, or we don't talk about Carol. The draw, though, I pulled the Page of Swords reversed. You have seen this card before in other videos for sure. And it is, you may have difficulty following through on your new ideas or are keeping these ideas to yourself for fear of rejection. Remember that you are a novice and it's okay not to know everything you're learning. And Mitsu Chen, they, them, is the model. But that's really it. I just thought I would do this really quick. I'll try and read more today. I don't know if I'm going to finish this today. I also, yes, I have smudgy eyeliner that did not come off in the shower. Or while I was asleep. So my one eye is just very dramatic. But that's it really. Work starts pretty soon. I just had a couple minutes, so I thought I would at least do the card, kind of let you know what we were up to, and then why I didn't have a book update for you. I am like intrigued. It's not the book. We just like, we did yard work before dinner, and then I was just kind of like out of it. So I just didn't feel like reading. I was like, oh, we can watch Scream instead, so that's what we did. But I will talk to you when I have a book update. I would like to finish it today. If I don't, apparently there's a football game on tomorrow, so I could always read it during the football game. So we'll just see. We'll just see how things shake out, Gremolinos. All right, Gremolinos, it is a hot day. My work day is over, and before work and lunch, I managed to read the rest of We Don't Talk About Carol. Giant bug. Not on the, but a giant bug just flew by me. So the general premise of this, I think I sort of told you, but I may have messed up the dates. So yeah, there's a fly. Of course there's a fly. General premise is that initially in like, I think it's in the prequel, so I can give you a date. Yeah, so 26 years ago. So like, gonna say roughly like 2000. Sydney finds a photo of a woman in her grandma's house and asks who this woman is. And her grandma basically just says, we don't talk about Carol. So she learns then that she had an aunt named Carol, but she's not discussed, she's not spoken about. And then none of that really, like, she's young, she doesn't really think about it too much more. Then we jump 26 years into the future. Her grandma has died. They call her Grammy. And now they have to take care of the house, the estate. And it's just her mom, her sister Sasha, and Sydney. Yes, Sydney? Yes, Sydney. So the three of them are going to be working on this house and getting it ready for sale and all of that and taking care of the grandma's affairs. And so while they're doing that, they find the photo again. They find these things about Carol, which leads Sydney down kind of a rabbit hole of trying to figure out what happened to Carol. Now, what becomes interesting is that in 1964 and 65, in this specific area of, do they give you the actual, it's in North Carolina, in their neighborhood, a few young black girls, black women, went missing, and no one knew what happened. There was the idea of this creek killer, but no one could really nail down what had happened. The police weren't really that involved. They just didn't really care, admittedly. I'm gonna put this down. And so Sydney, because she used to be a journalist, she has taken a bit of a break and moved into like communications, PR kind of stuff, because she and her husband are trying to have a baby. And I bring that up because that actually does take up a lot of the plot. So Sydney becomes invested in trying to find out what happened to her Aunt Carol, because she thinks her Aunt Carol, as well as these other women, were probably killed. The idea was that a lot of people kind of said like, oh, they probably ran away, they probably left. But there are people who think that their sisters or daughters died, and that no one has solved this crime. And so Sydney is investigating it as though all of these cases are actually murders, but she does not know this definitively, like going into it. She's like looking into it very, very firmly with that sense. It feels like, and it would make sense that that's what it is. So she is like very much digging into it, looking into it, trying to find out if there are any leads, anything she can find. And again, she was a journalist before, so she has a lot of like insight into how to do this. She used to write for the crime beat. We do get another reason for why she has left crime writing, and I'm not going to get into that because it's part of the plot, but it is, the mystery itself is interesting and is what got me through. Kira is barking. She's barking because Krista took Charlie outside. Brain. So, I lost my train of thought because dogs. Yeah, so she's investigating. We learn why she's no longer really being a journalist, outside of the fact that she does need to go through a great deal of stuff because she and her husband have been going through IVF for years at this point. Sorry. I knew I was going to do that. Have been going through this IVF process for years. Sydney is getting very tired. Sydney is basically poked and prodded and having injections done nearly constantly, and it's just exhausting. And I will say again, a lot of the plot does start to focus on that. So while the mystery is what got me through, there were sections where I was like, I understand that we're focusing on like family, and there is a lot of family connectivity, how family works, the functions of family, being a parent, all of that is part of the story. And I do think a lot of the focus on IVF is, it, for me personally, while I understood why it was there and like it was a useful element to the story to understand what our main character is going through, it is discussed a lot, like a lot, and not And it just is not something I expected to run into in the book. And so for a while, it does not feel like we're getting enough of the mystery because we are kind of like at a dead end, or we're not, like, Sydney doesn't really have much more to go on, and then it really just becomes a discussion of the IVF treatments, her relationship with her husband, her relationship with her mom, her sister, her dad. And there is a discussion of like there's so many topics that are very strong in this, that like family like dynamics and like how to handle difficult family situations and how that can have a lot of influence on your life later, even if you don't think it did. And all of that is like very interesting, but was not what I expected when like the synopsis is very clearly telling you that it's going to be about this relentless pursuit and this fixation on the missing girls, when a lot of the story is her focusing on that, but then like everything else in her life that's like making it difficult or to focus on that, or the reason she's being told to stop focusing on it. And it's just like a lot of stuff I wasn't anticipating, where I was like, okay, so there is a lot of IVF talk. There's a lot of it. And that for me made the story kind of slow because it just like was a lot of added info. And I'm sure some people will come into this and be like, oh, this is very well done and this is great. I don't know, as I have not gone through nor plan to go through IVF at any point in my life. And so I was just kind of like, I know the process and I know it's very difficult, but this is like a lot of page space. When I want to really like delve into like what's going on, I really want like cool investigative stuff. So when you go into this, it is labeled a mystery. There is a mystery. It does get you. It'll like the mystery does get very good, and it does ramp up very near the end even more in a very cool way. But it does include a lot of like stuff that is like just feels, not to drag it down exactly, but doesn't feel essential. And like some stuff that could have been condensed a bit to give more focus to the mystery itself. Again, it was good. It just like was very slow for a while for me, and then it like very much picked up near the end, and I was like, oh, this is very cool, but it's like it's not hooking me the way I thought it would. Like the mystery had me, but it was taking longer than I anticipated, and it does feel more, I want to say like lit thick true crime than it does like a mystery. It's not a mystery thriller. I don't think it was billed as a mystery thriller, so that's on me. But it is very like lit thick mystery, and it feels very much like you are involved in like a true crime almost analysis and investigation. Like it does feel, they discuss a podcast, and I would say it feels like you were following someone building up to creating a product surrounding these cases, is more what it feels like as she's going through the process than like a full-blown mystery. Also, because it's not like a mystery thriller, there are fewer moments of danger, so like our main character is kind of safely removed behind like a desk or a phone or a laptop, and so she is not like actively in situations that feel dangerous to me. So there's not as much tension there. There is a lot of familial tension between her and her husband, her and her sister, her and her mother, but not so much with many of the people in the investigation. So I did find that interesting. It is a very well done book overall. I think the topic is very important. I just think there were things that could have been removed so we could focus more on the mystery that I would have been fine with. Like this book could have been shorter for me, with less discussions of the family planning. I know it still needed to be in there for what they were doing with the story. I just don't know that so much of it needed to be in there. I do think the sister and the mother dynamic were very well done. The stuff with her husband, very well done. It felt like some stuff could have either been not discussed as much and it still would have resonated, and then we would have gotten like slightly more concise story. Overall though, I did enjoy it. It was slow for me until the end. But that is it. That is the final book. This I am counting for group or club, because we is a group. The definition is a group of people, or a group in general. So this is counting for the second buzzword prompt. So that completes the buzzword prompt. And I have also read both Literally Dead book club picks, both for July and for August. So I'm ahead of the game because I don't think the live event is till a lot later. But yeah, so I'm on it. I'm very hot. I at no point ever felt like putting on actual like clothes today. I am though going to have to put on actual pants. I'm wearing pajama pants. We need to go get groceries, and I tried to, my mom actually very nicely gifted us a Walmart Plus thing, like account, because it was on sale for like super cheap when we were visiting Ohio. And so she was like, oh, let us like gift it to you because it's pretty cheap. And so they did, and something's wrong with their server today. So like I keep trying to place an order and it keeps saying there's just been an internal error and we cannot proceed. And I'm like, and I've tried so many times. So we're gonna go out and get groceries after work. So that is the plan. I though cannot think of anything else. My favorite book in this vlog would have to be Summer Slasher. My least favorite was The Summer Fun Massacre. And then I feel like I'm trying to think. I think We Don't Talk About Carol would slightly beat out Dead Men Dream of Electric Sheep, even though they are completely different genres. That's why it's so hard for me to compare them. But I think We Don't Talk About Carol focuses on like very important topics, and while Dead Men Dream of Electric Sheep is very much an anti-AI book, that is the only message it's trying to present, both in the layout of the book, the presentation of the book, and the plot of the book. And We Don't Talk About Carol is talking about a lot more things, so I would say it beats that one out. Though I do still wish it was a little shorter. But that is it. I'm gonna go Gremlinos. I'm hoping I can edit this tomorrow and that it'll work. I've run into some issues, but I'm hoping editing things go well tomorrow. So I can edit it and get it up. And then the next vlog, I think, will be something completely different because I have a number of library books out, and I need to get some of them back. So yeah, it'll just be a lot of library books for a little bit. So I think it's, like, subscribe, all of that jazz. And I'm on Instagram. Same name as the channel. And I will see you in the next one, Gremlinos. Bye.